if I'm gonna stick with wellness. It's not motivation. I hate to break it to you. I don't have motivation. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of this shit. Okay. Hello and welcome back to my bodybuilding series. It's now officially 2 weeks, well, as of yesterday, as of yesterday. And of course somebody's gonna start mowing their fucking lawn right as I'm gonna film. Okay, sorry. I had to close the window because that was really loud. So it is now officially 2 weeks yesterday from the Tahoe show. And like I said before, I had quite a bit to share with you guys in regards to the show itself. I'm going to kind of touch base on the different production companies that these shows are put on by very briefly because, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. It's still a very, it's just a hard topic to talk about because I do plan on competing in the future, and who knows if I'll be going with one production company or the other. Constructive criticism is best, and I think that's how we should go about this. You guys know, we placed top 5 out of an insane fucking class. The more time that passes, the more excited I am that I got that opportunity to step on that stage with nationally qualified women, mind you. Like, it wasn't just like your typical first timers. This was like an open class where it was fair game for everybody. It was a monster, especially my class. The other classes were good, but my class was like, there were some girls, my God. Needless to say, the fire has been lit underneath me. I'm very, very excited to build. And we are now in an off season, so that's all we're focusing on right now. Looking forward into the future as far as competitions go, and if I'm gonna stick with wellness, if I'm going to stick with the same production company, which was Center Podium for this show, or Spectrum for the Governor's Cup. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of this shit. So my experience with Center Podium has been excellent my first couple shows. I heard that there was some turnover with the people that run the show, or there was some sort of turnover with the production company members. With that came some changes to the show that I personally am not a fan of. Again, this is just my own personal opinion. This is probably not the opinion of every competitor, but that particular Tahoe show that we just did, it did not run as smoothly as I remember them running in the past. I did do the Tahoe show last year and it was completely different. Granted, I was in a different class as well. I was in a different class and division. I was in figure, so yeah. But I did end up competing officially at about 1 a.m., 12:30-ish, but I did get my Domino's pizza, so it's okay. If everything's right with the world, I got my Domino's. But there was a couple downsides. The wait time, they did throw the pros into an NPC show. Right in the middle, they cut everybody off and threw the pros on, which extended the show about another 2 hours. So we would have been done by 10, which is usually, you know, 10, 11 o'clock is fine, but this was pushing way past what a lot of the competitors expected. There were some girls backstage that were eating cookies and sweets and their after show treats because they were not expecting to be backstage for that long. They were starving, they didn't want to pass out, they didn't bring enough of like their prep food with them to eat backstage. They were crying. It was kind of a mess, but again, that might have been a fluke. It might have been just a bad show. And it happens. I'm sure every production company has those moments. Speaking of, I did do the Spectrum show, which was the Governor's Cup. They run their show a little differently. From what I experienced, it was only my first Spectrum show. I have only done Center Podium in the past. Spectrum is start to finish, no breaks, which in the scheme of things is great. I love that it is so quick and you get it done and you're done and you can eat and you can celebrate with your families around like 3 or 4. So that's great. You're done and you're over with the show. However, I believe the venue could have been picked a little bit differently, or it could have been like put together a little better. It was very hot, there was no AC, and if there was AC, it wasn't on very high, and the competitors were stuck in a room about this size, so this is pretty small. And we had glaze in the same room as the competitors. So not only did we have no ventilation, we had the glaze going, we had over 100 girls in that room sweating, our tans were dripping. It just wasn't the best, but the time frame for the show was a lot better. So if you're looking into competing and you want to look at the different production companies, divisions, whatever, just do your research. Look up the production companies, look at past schedules, what are you looking to get yourself into, and just give it a shot, because Center Podium has done such great shows in the past. It was my very first show with Center Podium, was the Motherlode, which I have the medals up there from. So I definitely have nothing against Center Podium as a production company. I just definitely think there could have been some improvements made for that particular show. Same with Spectrum. I loved Spectrum. I loved the speed of the show. I thought it was great, but then again, they could have picked a different venue, or at least had the venue a little different, if you get what I'm saying. I asked you guys some questions. Well, I asked you to ask me questions about what you would like to see as far as my videos going forward for an off season, and you guys asked some questions. So we're gonna kind of get a little into that. There's not gonna be like a shit ton, because I want to keep this video a little bit shorter, and then I'll touch base on these questions in a following vlog. One of them says, have you thought about competing in other federations? So meaning, have you thought about competing in like bikini, figure, physique? I'm assuming that's what you mean, federations, divisions. So I was a figure competitor for the first year of my bodybuilding career, I guess we could call it. And it was a great division. I'll post a picture here. My suit is amazing. Shameless plug, Salela Suits, code CookieSam if you want to save money on any suit, jewelry, heels, accessories, literally anything. Save money where you can. It's an expensive sport. So I was figure before. I just have too wide of hips to be able to do those posings that are straightforward. It doesn't work for me. I can't do it. How many lawnmowers are they fucking using? I swear to God, it's like they know that I'm trying to film. Okay, so yeah, I did figure, but my hips are too wide to do that front pose, and I didn't feel as confident doing those poses. Wellness, however, I feel extremely confident with my poses. I feel like I'm embracing my feminine curve, and it's just, I don't know. When you know your division, you know, and you'll know. Bikini, I can't do bikini. I love to build muscle. I want big fucking legs. I want round, huge shoulders. Like, I just want it all. And you have to think about your division as something that you rock all year round, not necessarily in season, but also off season as well. I don't want to look like a bikini girl off season and on season. I want to look like a wellness bitch on season and off season. I want to have thick thighs, baby. And physique is its own beast. That is actually going to be Callie's division, and I'm very, very excited to see how she grows into it, but it's just not the division for me. And to each his own, you will pick your division, that is totally fine. You could also just do a show and have the judges give you feedback on what division they'd like to see you in. Like, if you want to do wellness and they tell you, hey, you're not built for wellness, do bikini, or hey, you're not built for figure, do wellness. Like, the judges are great for feedback with that, so you could also do that as well. My feedback for the shows have been wellness is definitely my division. They want overall size, to come in a little bit more conditioned, and just rounder shoulders. So that's what we're doing, and I'm so excited. My phone doesn't agree that it's me with glasses. So this question is, how do you guys maintain separate meal plans? So that's probably pointing towards me and Callie having separate meal plans but having the same coach. So this is a good thing to talk about, because having a good coach is so fucking important in this sport. Let me tell you, it is fucking important. So our coach has us on different plans because she's currently in a cut and I'm in a bulk. I'm in like an off season. So we manage it. We eat the same foods. It's just different volumes of those foods. So yeah, in off season, I might get a couple cheat meals. In Callie's cut, she won't get that, but we do support each other because we've also been on flip sides of that as well. So she's definitely been in a bulk when I was in a cut. So it's kind of bittersweet. It's nice because we both kind of understand where the other person is as far as where they are in their prep or their plan. So when she's in a cut, I understand how difficult it is. When I'm in a cut, she understands how difficult it is. So it's more of like, we're able to really empathize with each other on the level, but it is also very hard too. So if we're both in a cut, we are both like, like fighting for food. But it's okay, because I think once Callie gets into an actual prep and does her first show, our level of connectivity on that prep level will be so strong, because she will then understand the whole process. Our coach puts her through mini cuts and puts her through like mini preps, mini peak weeks, which is great because she gets a feel for it before she actually competes. But I think going through an actual show for her will be a huge eye-opener on what athletes actually go through. So yeah, it's hard, but it's also very nice because we literally shop for the same things. We eat the same things, so we don't keep shit food in the house. Our son eats, you know, kind of whatever he wants. We don't gatekeep that from him. But we are very supportive of each other as far as making decisions, coping through cuts and bulks, and you know, when I am gaining weight, so it's a little uncomfortable for me at first, but she's very supportive and she understands that it's hard to gain some water weight back once you finish a show and you've been lean for so long, especially after doing back-to-back shows. It's a little hard on the noggin, but it's okay if you have a strong support system. It's amazing. Also a good coach. Don't forget that part. How do you keep motivated even on your worst days? It's not motivation. I hate to break it to you. I don't have motivation half the time. It doesn't exist. I wish I could tell you that,
oh my God, I'm motivated all the time. Like the gym is just like motivating.
It's not. The Stairmaster is not motivating. This fuck right here that I just got, which I actually fucking love, is not motivating. It's like, it's not motivation. And I feel weird saying that, but it also makes sense. It's dedication, it's discipline, it's the mindset that keeps me going on the hardest days. Like most days I want to sit and I want to eat everything in sight. I want to not give a fuck about what my goals are, what my dreams are, how hard I've worked, and I just want to eat all day. And I don't, because I know that if I do that, I'm able to kind of think past that urge to do. So let's say I ate an entire box of donuts and I didn't think about how I would feel afterwards. And I sit there and I'm like, fuck, why'd I do that? Like I knew I wasn't gonna feel well. Why didn't I think about that beforehand? So now with the experience that I have in this sport, I'm able to think through the urge to do something like that and think about how I would feel after I did it. So if I had a box of donuts in front of me, which I did yesterday, and I look at them and I'm like, I'm gonna eat one. And then I stop and I think, how will you feel after you eat it? Will you feel satisfied? Will you feel proud of yourself? Will you feel better? Will you feel worse? Not to say that dieting has to be that way. This is just for this sport individually. Moderation is key. If you want to eat donuts, if you want to eat cookies, if you want to eat crackers and chips, moderation is literally the most important thing for you. You can have those foods all you want, but for the sport that I do, I personally choose to not go that route because I know how it'll make me feel physically. I know that it's not gonna fuel my brain or my body well. And it's gonna make me feel really horrible because I know that that food isn't gonna serve me well in any way, shape, or form. As far as going to the gym on the days I'm not motivated, it's important to do it regardless. The days that you're not motivated or determined or dedicated to go, that if you go, that sets you apart from more than half of the population. More than half of the people that you probably know, if they don't feel like going to the gym, they're not gonna go. They're gonna make up 10,000 excuses like, oh, I deserve this break, or oh, I had a really rough day today, I shouldn't do it, or oh, I just got broken up with, or I'm too tired, like I had 3 glasses of wine last night, I just don't feel like going. They will make excuses for themselves. But what sets you apart from everybody else is that you say, you know what, no. Because I know once I get into the gym, once I do my workout, do my cardio, do my lift, I'm gonna feel so much better. And I'm gonna have that one other workout under my belt that I would have not done if I had given in to the thousands of excuses that I gave myself. Stop making excuses for yourself. It is only going to hurt you and it is gonna form bad habits. Every time you're presented with something you don't wanna do, guess what? You're gonna come up with a habit of making excuses as to why you shouldn't do it. Stop it. Stop it. Knock it off. You guys wanna see foods that I eat in off season, you wanna see recipes, you wanna see workouts, and I'm very excited to say that we have a new type of workout split. Coach has presented me with the availability to choose what set of workouts I do, and I'm going to prioritize legs as much as I can because I want these fucks to grow, and that's what we're gonna do. So there are gonna be a lot more leg days, a lot more focused on the slow, eccentric, and that other one, my brain's not working today, sorry. But I'm going to be slowing down my movements. I'm going to be focusing on not so much the weight, but the movement itself, the muscle to mind connection, really making sure that I am putting everything I can into each lift. Seriously, it's gonna be such a different off season for me, and I'm so excited to see. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I heard this thing on Instagram that was like, nobody gives a fuck how much you can hip thrust if you're bouncing the weight off of your fucking hips. Nobody fucking cares how much you can hip thrust. Can you control that weight flawlessly with form, up and down? Or are you just like fucking thrusting the shit out of this bar like you're trying to finish as quick as a man? Like, honestly, don't do that. Nobody gives a fuck if you can fucking bouncy ball a fucking 45-pound plate off your ass. Nobody cares. What they do care about is how your form is. Get your form right. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna not build like you want to. You have to take your time with these lifts. Anyway, that's kind of my update. I'm feeling pretty good as far as off season goes. Yes, it is hard to see the weight come back, but like every off season, it's gonna get a little bit of getting used to. But we are taking things slowly. Coach and I have a plan going into this off season, and I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm excited to bring you guys along with me. And I started a TikTok series where I did like a pose, and I'm gonna do it for every single month. So not weekly, but monthly, so that at the end of my off season, I'll have, I don't know if we're taking 8 or 9 months or a year off. It just depends on how off season goes. But I'll have like 8 clips or 12 clips of me doing the same pose, but monthly, so we can see the change in my body, how I'm growing, and it's just gonna be so cool to look back on. So I'm really excited about that. You guys I asked you on Instagram as well if what you wanted to see as far as content for the off season, and you guys said food, workouts, daily life videos, recipes. So basically what I was doing on prep. And I'm excited because it'll be a little bit more eventful because I won't be as tired. I'll have food in me and we'll have energy. And that's pretty cool too. So I'm done talking your ear off. Yeah, it's Sunday. We weighed in this yesterday at 146.3. So our stage weight, I believe when I weighed in, I was 133 or something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna be super transparent with y'all about weight because I need to not give a fuck about what the scale says. And if I'm transparent with you guys, it'll help me cope with it a little more, that I don't feel like I'm hiding something bad. Because you know when you don't want to share something, you hide it, and it feels so like bad that you're hiding it. You can't tell anybody because it's so bad. The scale doesn't fucking matter. We are looking at physique, we are looking at development, we are looking at how I'm feeling internally and not how I'm looking externally, you know what I mean? So as long as this is good, my heart's good, my body looks healthy, and my coach says we are a-okay and I'm feeling solid, that's all that matters. The number on the scale is just to gauge how we're doing. But that is my spiel. So happy 2 weeks post-show, and feeling pretty good. I don't know if I'll do a physique update yet. I might save that for next week, but stay tuned because I'm gonna pick up the vlog. Let's see, we'll pick up vlogging probably this week. I don't know when, but we'll pick it up, and we'll go through a first week of off season. Even though it's been 1 week, this is solid 1 week of off season. We did reverse diet last week. So now this is our first week of off season gains. Hell yeah. Okay, let's get this party started. I'm excited. If you guys have any other questions, any other requests of what you want to see as far as future videos and content, please comment down below. And those of you that saw me at the show, hello, thank you so much for watching. You guys make my life so complete. I've had so many new followers on Instagram. Follow me there, TikTok, follow me here. You guys have just been so amazing by messaging me, and the support that I've gotten after the Tahoe show just blows my mind. I don't understand it. So many of you guys came up to me and said, I watch your videos, I watch you during cardio, like thank you so, like, oh, like emotions, emotional. You guys made me emotional that day and every day since then, so thank you. I couldn't do any of this without you. Sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to a blank screen, but there's people on the other side watching me, and I make an impact, and you guys have made that clear to me, and it's amazing. So I love you guys very much, and happy off season.